Hey, welcome to another Google Hangout while we are getting ready for the best away game as UNC takes on University of Virginia in football Thursday night. Tonight we wanted to take a look at some other UNC athletes who are also thriving. We have Moree Lubrano from UNC women's soccer team who are currently in the NCAA tournament. We're also joined by Benton who is on the baseball team. So welcome, you guys. We would just like a little perspective on what it's like to be part of the Tar Heel family, part of the Tar Heel athletic community. Maria, do you want to fill us in on how the soccer team's doing?
Yeah, we just played the first round of NCAA tournament against Radford and won. We will be playing Illinois on Friday, and if we beat them, we'll be playing again on Sunday. So hopefully all goes well.
Awesome. Very cool. What's it feel like? What's it like to be a UNC athlete?
It's great. I mean, what you were talking about, the family, it's completely true. Not only with my teammates, but with all of their families. Everyone helps out, everyone in every situation, and no matter the results, you have someone there picking you up, telling you the truth. Obviously, I mean, there's such a history with this program, and there are high expectations, but, I mean, can't happen every year, but it's always expected.
Awesome. Benton, what's your experience been like?
Well, I have had a different experience than many other people. This is my 6th year with 2 redshirt years, so it's been amazing every step of the way. Whether I was injured or not, I always felt 100% a part of the team. It just came in different roles. And just to have this final year be in the NCAA tournament, it's an amazing experience because it's the highest level and you are trying to be the best team of the highest level. So it's got some nerves in there, but it's also you trying to do what you love to do at the highest level.
Awesome. Very good. Benton, what's your experience been like? You came off a great freshman season, named Louisville Slugger Freshman All-American. What's it like to be a UNC athlete and work under a great baseball team?
Well, coming into Carolina's program here, everybody is the best player on their high school team. All the hitters are the number 4 batter on their high school team. All the pitchers are the aces of their, respective high school team. And so when you come in here, you have to be able to compete. And I felt like I competed pretty hard, worked hard, and I felt lucky enough and privileged enough to throw a lot last year. And I think that it definitely prepared me for this year and knowing what to expect in the fall. For fall practices, fall workouts, and especially going forward into another spring season.
Benton, can you just talk to us a little bit about how it's been playing in the Fall World Series this fall?
Yeah, I joke around with a lot of my friends. Yeah, I actually think it's slightly more competitive in the Fall World Series because it's your own teammates, and you have to hear from them if you lose the game going back into the locker room. Whereas in the spring, they're a little more, even keel, focused because, it's a different team in the other dugout, and you don't exactly have to hear it from them after the game, win, lose, or draw. So it's a little bit of a different atmosphere, slightly more competition going on there.
Benton, were you on the blue or the white team?
So I was on the blue team this year. Actually, that's an interesting question. So we actually switched teams each game. I don't think there was actually a set blue and white team, but I was unfortunately on the team that lost this year. So I was on the short end of the stick. So I had to hear it from a lot of different people in the locker room.
Carolina won though, right?
That's all that matters at the end of the day. Carolina does
every game.
Been the Fall World Series is kind of a first glance for a lot of you players to get a chance to see what the new guys have got. Anybody really impress you in that regard?
Yeah, so I'm really hopeful for this coming spring. I know that each year we have a lot of competition, especially among the pitchers. But I saw a lot of good competition among the hitters, and that's exactly what we need to drive good production from our offense. If we're going to have a strong offense, we need a lot of depth and a lot of competition among the position players, and I saw that a lot this fall. There were a couple of freshmen that I was really impressed with. One of the outfielders that we have, Sky Bolt, I think he's probably got arguably the best arm on the team, and he can hit from the right and the left. So I mean, he'll be sort of vying for a starting spot. I mean, we've got a lot of freshmen who are going to compete for spots and time, and so I think that's going to make everybody better in the long run.
It's got a great name too, Sky Bolt. Just a great name.
Okay, guys. Since our event is called the Best Away Game, we're holding a viewing party for the football team as they travel to Charlottesville. Can both you, Maria, and Benton talk about your best experience at an away game in terms of the support you gained from Tar Heels at someone else's stadium?
Yeah, I'll go first. Well, first off, do you want me to say anything about just a personal experience, like away baseball game, or like an away? I mean, I've been to an away football game at NC State, so I can tell you about that, and I can also tell you about some away baseball games that have been pretty intense too.
I'd say just go for both.
All right. Well, I'll start with the away NC State game. So, unfortunately, I found myself in the fraternity corner of the tailgating section at the state football game at state. And so I was pretty drenched in a lot of alcoholic beverages and lewd gestures and terrible language, among other things. So that was a good experience. And we had a great time at Miami. The baseball team did last spring. Unfortunately, we got swept that weekend. We didn't play very well, but there was a lot of trash talk going on that weekend, and sometimes that's just a little bit. That's a little fun sometimes as an athlete when things like that get heated. So.
Well, thanks, Benton. What about you, Maria?
That's a difficult question when you played so many years. But I think I would have to say 2 years ago in the championship game at Texas, it was miserable weather for our semifinal game, almost snowing in Texas. But we had Nike overnight ship us a bunch of Under Armour stuff, Nike things. But the atmosphere was just incredible at the game. There were so many Carolina fans at that game, just taking over the stadium. And one of the coolest parts about it is that the A&M Stadium where we were playing is a field without a track around it. So the stands are right on top of the field. And just having so many Carolina fans there supporting and cheering and just yelling obscenities at the other team was a very cool experience. A lot like what you would kind of get in Europe, which is the best soccer in the world.
Sounds good. Brandon, from a sports writer's perspective, what's the best away game you've ever covered here at UNC?
Wow, that's a really tough question. I will say, in terms of baseball last year, having the chance to cover the ACC tournament in Greensboro when Benton and those guys took on NC State. I've never seen a bigger crowd at a college baseball game. Just the atmosphere the whole time was really electric, and that's one that I think kind of sticks with me. Obviously, covering the NC State football game last weekend, I was at home, but that's one of the greatest experiences I think I've ever had covering a game. Just seeing it end and the way that it did. I mean, it's practically a walk-off punt return, if you will.
Sounds good. Meredith, do you have any questions for them?
I was trying to sit here and think of some. I mostly came on to listen today. I really like how our idea as the best away game event, how that can transfer over to any other sport. I hope that maybe in the future we'd be able to do something like this for other sports and have the community engaged on a grander scale on things like Google Plus with soccer and with baseball. Because we do have an awesome athletic program and we do have amazing athletes, and we have athletes that are willing to come on and give us the time like this, face to face, per se, and talk to us about stuff, and I just think that's really cool. Do you guys see something like this, like catching on anytime soon? I mean, is that something that you could see happening?
Maria, you want to go first?
You're talking about this Google Plus Hangout thing, correct?
Well, the Google Plus Hangout, but just, I mean, athletes connecting with students in forums like this, yeah.
I definitely think so. I mean, it's UNC attracts some of the brightest and most interesting people in the country, and it's not just in athletics. We have some great girls that are in the business school or artsy, and they, I mean, every student is able to do it. I'm an exercise and sports science major, and they're just awesome students around campus that you get to know, and it would be great to get everyone on something like this. So I definitely think that it would be something to see in the very near future.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think that, you know, for big games like the UVA game, but in other sports like baseball and soccer and all the other sports, I think this is totally possible, and I respect what you all have done so much. I think, like, I was looking on the Facebook page just for the viewing party tomorrow night, and, you know, like, several hundred people are listed up there to be going, and several hundred more are you know, undecided or are invited. I think what you all are doing is excellent just for student support, you know, and kind of pushing it on the student crowd, because, I mean, like, we love playing our sports, but we love it even more when there are fans in the stands. And the best fans are the students. I mean, let's be honest. I respect what you guys are doing. So thank you.
So, Maria, you were talking about how UNC brings a lot of extra variety and how it gets people in art school and stuff. You mind telling us about the crazy thing you got going on behind you with the gloves?
Oh, you can see that. Actually, yeah, this is from one of my roommates. I have a goalkeeper roommate, and then I have one of our kind of undergraduate coaches is also one of my roommates, who is a very artsy person. So the goalkeeper likes, like Michael Jordan, to play with new gloves every game. She almost does that. So these are all her extra gloves, and it has now become a hand that just made it to Top Drawer Soccer, one of their photos. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So I'd be interested to hear just kind of an off-topic question. If either of you weren't playing sports for UNC, what would you be doing?
I want a little time for this one, Murray. You can go first.
Oh, man. If I wasn't playing sports, I would still hope that I was around sports. So I think I would still be in the exercise and sports science program, but I would love to be on the athletic training part of things. With my many injuries, I've spent a lot of time in the athletic training room, and I just love, sometimes I'll go in there and just talk to our athletic trainer about, you know, someone else's injury. So I think I would definitely be in the athletic training program.
Yeah, Yeah, I'd definitely say, if I wasn't part of the baseball team, I'd probably be involved with a few more organizations on campus that I know I'm not able to be involved with just due to, being on the baseball team and schedule conflicts and time constraints. But, I mean, the give and take there is a clear choice. Baseball wins out. But, yeah, I'd probably, be involved a little more on campus with some other organizations. Probably spend a little bit more time in the books. So.
Hey, Ben, on that subject of studying, I know that you guys are student athletes. Moree has been on the dean's list. Benton, you're a Morehead scholar. So you're both very active in your schoolwork. We've been studying Google Plus and Google Hangouts to see what options it has. What would you think about using that technology in the future for staying up to date on classes? Because you guys are traveling all the time. You want tutors. Like, could you see that being on the road and you're talking with your teachers, you're having a hangout, you're working with your tutors? What type of possibilities could you see with that and helping out being a student athlete?
But yeah, I completely see the utility in that. I mean, I actually have a really good friend of mine who's a Morehead in my class. He's a sophomore. He's working on that right now on online classes and like accessing classes online for more like efficient use and like less of a classroom setting in some of the bigger survey courses. So he's actually working on that right now. But I could definitely see that being a huge plus for people who actually have to travel a lot. I mean, not even just athletes, but people who might be involved with other things on campus that require them to maybe travel every now and then. That would be a huge, huge plus.
Yeah, that's, now that you've said that, maybe I'll try getting with some of my classmates on here if I've missed a class. But yeah, absolutely. Just even the classroom part that he was talking about would be perfect, but even just getting a group together to study, like a study group while I'm gone, would be fantastic. It would be very helpful for me, and I know that many other students would really appreciate it because I've tried like a Google Doc type of study session with people, and that was very helpful. So just to have a face-to-face thing would be all the more helpful.
Maria, I know you guys in the season, you play a lot of Thursday night games in the conference play, especially when you have to go on the road. Does that cause you guys to miss any class, and how do you try and stay up to date with that?
Oh, yeah. For Thursday night games, we leave usually Wednesday around noon. So we not only miss Thursday, but Wednesday, and if it's a really far game, it's possible that we just get back so late it's hard to go to a Friday class. But the way that I kind of deal with it is just making sure I get notes from someone, but just being in constant communication with the professor is very key. And then just it calls for extra studying. You have to figure out things on your own, and if you don't figure it out, going to office hours and talking with professors. So it definitely adds more to your plate.
Speaking of away games, Brandon, I know during the year when different UNC teams hit the road, we had to do call stories. Could you ever see calls being replaced by perhaps Google Hangouts to do interviews?
That's an interesting question. I think it could be useful. I think tonight, as an example, though, we couldn't quite get a hold of Megan because she's in Virginia and having some internet issues. But other than that, yeah, I think it's it could be a very viable option when it comes to doing interviews. It's nice to put a face to a voice. It's also nice to be able to gauge someone's emotion when you're trying to talk to them and kind of capture what happened in a game. So, there's certainly advantages to being able to see somebody and talk to them.
Definitely. Well, I don't want to hold you guys up. I know everyone's busy. Almost Thanksgiving break. Teachers are cramming in tests and stuff. Just before we go, I want to ask, like, I guess a kind of funny question for Brandon, Benton, and Maria. The question is, since we're talking about the best away game and UNC versus UVA football, my question is to all of you, if you could go out to lunch with one UNC football player, who would it be and why?
I'll cook first, I guess. If I could go out to lunch with one football player, it'd probably be Trey Boston. I've had enough conversations with him in post-game situations in practice. So I think he's just a really hilarious guy. He seems to have a nice sense of humor. Also, there's some really funny videos on Caleb Presley's website with him doing some scooter racing. So he just seems like a really interesting kid.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead first.
I'll just throw out two names. Let's see. First, Carson Wooten. He was in my orientation group before freshman year. I got to know him pretty well. He's a cool guy. He's a funny guy. Like Brandon said, he's got a great Carson does. And Alan Champagne. He's a fellow Moorhead. He's a trip. He's a trip.
I don't really know that many of the football players, but if I had to choose one from the names that I remember, since I'm absolutely horrible with names, Bernard would probably be my choice because he might be up for the Heisman, and that would just be a very cool thing to say. But yeah, guess we do that.
Well, thank you guys for taking time out of your busy schedules to talk to us and help us promote the best away game ever. We really appreciate it and hope you enjoy the rest of your evening.
Good luck. Hey, Maria, good luck in the soccer game.
Thank you.
Friday.
Good luck.
Yep, thank you both, and for everyone else, we'll see you at the best away game ever at 7 o'clock on Thursday, which is tomorrow, at Back Bar at Top of the Hill. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
See you later, Brandon. Bye, Benton. Thanks.
Bye. Thanks.